Anyway, Scott in Los Angeles, I'm going to get started with you. We're not going to finish before the break, but we'll get started. How are you doing, sir?
Good, Rush. Okay, so I was listening to some of the stuff you said earlier, and you were talking about the most destructive force is the Democrat Party. But at this point, I see the most destructive force is right-wing talk radio. And what we've seen is there's very few places you can tune in and get an objective view without just a one-side complete slant. And what they're doing is they're spending 8 months trashing and trying to convince millions of voters to vote for their guy, as opposed to trying to reach out to the one guy who's energized the party and then maybe educate
All right,
him
hang on.
to the important...
Hang on. This is going to be good. Okay, back to Scott in Los Angeles. I really appreciate your holding to the break. I thought I had more time prior to that break than we did. But you basically, if I understand, your problem is with what you call right-wing talk radio, which is doing what again?
They are spending 3 hours in the morning show, 3 hours in the afternoon show, 3 hours in the evening show. It is all anti-Trump. So much so that I heard one guy in the morning the other day say that Donald Trump said that women should be put in prison. And I listened to that interview. Donald Trump did not say that. And then he talks about how truth lives here. How can truth live here if you're making up lies? But all of his supporters on his Facebook, keep going with the truth. You're doing the right thing. You know, right-wing talk radio now is more interested in stopping Trump than they are stopping ISIS, to use a line from what you said.
Yeah. One problem, there are some people listening to you right now who think that there's a lot of talk radio guys in a tank for Trump.
And they say that you're one, but you realize there is a definition of in the tank for Trump. In the tank for Trump just means you haven't joined the party of I hate Trump, I will not vote for Trump, I will campaign, I will caucus for Trump, I will influence states, influence people to get in there and vote against Trump. You and a gentleman that comes on after you are listed as in the tank for Trump because you don't, smear him for 3 hours during your show every day. We've got 8 months of 3 hours a day. That's a lot of hours to be anti-Trump. Be for your guy. Don't be against.
Are you're a Trumpist?
I'm not going to give myself a name like that. I support Donald Trump, but I haven't labeled myself as a Trumpist.
Well, I don't mean it as a pejorative.
I know. I just don't know what that word means. But I do support Donald Trump because he is taking on the entire world. Look, Ted Cruz is the absolute best debater. Can we agree to that? He's had 11 shots at Donald Trump, but now he needs this one-on-one debate. Really? You need another debate? Are you going to, when China builds into the South China Sea, are you going to come to the media and say, if I can just get one debate with the leader of China, a one-on-one debate, we can solve this? Debating doesn't necessarily solve these problems.
Well, you have uttered quite a lot here.
I got more.
Well, let me hear it. Before I react to this, what else is on your mind? What else is bothering you or got you wired? What is it?
The big thing is you got one guy who has energized the party, brought a lot of people into it, a lot of energy. Bernie Sanders has that on his side. There is no left-wing talk radio trashing Bernie. It's just Bernie and Hillary. Okay, on our side, we've got Donald Trump, who has energized the party, has got crossover votes, and just got people excited that we don't have to deal with their guy this time. And their guy is like the Karl Rove and the insiders, but now it's talk radio's guy. It's still not we the people's guy. And as opposed to talk radio trying to influence millions of people to hashtag never Trump, never vote for Trump, why didn't they spend 8 months trying to communicate with Donald Trump?
None of this is new. I mean, in previous campaigns, you've had various different talk shows in primaries.
The new part of this rush is the energy behind Donald Trump. Because last time you could go with the Mitt Romney crap and everybody trying to get on Mitt Romney and destroy Newt Gingrich. I mean, he was the best Speaker of the House we ever had, and he's labeled the worst progressive in the world. But
by the way, what would you think if Trump if Trump wins the nomination, what do you think if he chose Newt as his vice presidential running mate?
Man, where do I sign up?
You'd go for that.
I'd love that. Newt Gingrich knows, like, that's the sad thing about what's going on here with Cruz, is Cruz does know some inside stuff that might be helpful to a Trump presidency. Newt Gingrich also has that knowledge and that experience that would be very helpful to a Trump presidency.
Well, okay. You put me in a not uncomfortable. I just never comment on other talk shows. It's a matter of policy. It's a no-win. It is. Well, it's just a no-win. From my standpoint, position, there's nothing good that can come from that. So I'll just let that go. Although I don't know how unusual it really is. We just have simply really feverish passions that are equally, or maybe not equally, but they're divided. I mean, in the last Republican primaries, there wasn't this kind of passion for anybody. I mean, Romney never had this kind of passion. McCain never had this kind of passion, even among his supporters. And the people that ran and didn't lose, they didn't have this kind of passion. So it's kind of new territory. You know, I can explain the Cruz supporters. I can explain the Trump supporters. And if I try to, I anger the other side of whichever side I'm speaking. But I understand it all. I understand every syllable of it. I understand why Trump's people support him. I understand why they won't abandon him. I understand why the Cruzers are totally into Cruz. And it's interesting. There's an overlap. There's one thing that is common to both groups. Both groups, the Cruzers and the Trumpists, or the Trumpsters, or the Trumpers, whatever you want to call them, they both think their guy is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to fix what's wrong. The Trump people think, finally, Michael, we finally got somebody that's not part of the establishment and everything that means. On the Cruz side, finally, after all of these years of battling, we finally have the best damn conservative we've had since Reagan. Somebody can do it all, speak it, debate it, explain it, articulate it. And the Trump people are just as passionate. And, of course, with that passion comes an equally passionate opposition to anybody else. And a profound frustration that people don't see the passion the way the supporters feel it. For example, the Cruz people are so into this. It's such a God opportunity. It's a godsend. It's a once in everybody's lifetime opportunity to really fix this in their minds. Infuse conservatism. Somebody knows how to do it, won't back down from it, will not capitulate when he gets there. And they're frustrated that others don't see it. And they're just as frustrated as they are excited. The Trump people, it's the same thing. They're just as passionate, and they're just as frustrated that opponents don't see the great opportunity here. And this is why everybody's worried about unity when it's all over. That it's gotten so divisive and so vitriolic and so personal that when it's over, how in the world do the people whose guy lost, whoever it is, just forget it and sign up with the winner? Because the anti-passion, the Cruzers, their anti-Trump passion, it's not just, I don't like the guy. It is profound, deep profound. And same thing with the Trumpists. So that's why the GOP, in its infinite wisdom, is thinking that the route here is to somehow take all this away from both sides and pick somebody from their club, the old reliable establishment. And even if they lose, So be it. They can work with Hillary. She's an establishment babe. They're part of the establishment. They'll get to hold on to what fiefdoms they've got. They'll be able to maintain their futures and their careers. But they can't be assured of that with either Trump or Cruz. So that's the danger in the Republican establishment. They'll be content to lose. Not that they want to. It's a difference here. Being okay with losing is not the same as wanting to. But they're telling themselves that it would be much better for them personally and professionally to lose to Hillary than to lose control of the party, which is how they view Cruz and Trump both. I got to take a brief time out. Appreciate the call, Scott. We will be back after this. Don't go.